Hey, thanks for joining us. It's our look at the other top leagues in Europe, starting with Spain. In midweek, there was the Copa del Rey semi-final second legs. And I saw the goals for this one. Barcelona overturned a 2-goal first leg deficit, beat Sevilla 3-0 on the night after extra time, and win 3-2 on aggregate. They go into the final. And Craig Marias, star man, we laughed at him before, Martin Braithwaite, scored the winning goal.
Yeah, I mean, the man who struggled to get into the Middlesbrough starting 11.
Him.
Manages to do the business for arguably the biggest club in the world. I mean, what a story that is. We've talked about Barcelona's troubles this season on and off the pitch. I just don't see how Koeman stays in that job after the presidential elections. I think it's going to be very tough for him to have a second season there. But yeah, it's really good it's a really good result for Barcelona. It's something that they need. Let's not forget, they're still in that title race. I mean, we criticize them and say Koeman this and Barcelona's off-field problems, but Atletico have tripped up a couple of times already in recent weeks. Barcelona just about managed to win games here and there, and as long as you're in the race going into that home straight, you're always in with a chance. So I mean, it's not all doom and gloom, but it is not the Barcelona that we know. We know that it's sometimes a struggle to watch. It's sometimes it's not as free flowing. It's not what we expect from Barcelona. Not really going to be complaining too much.
No, absolutely. Bob Holmes, the big news in Spain has been Josep Maria Bartomeu, the ex-president. He was arrested on Monday. The Camp Nou officers have been raided, I understand. They're talking about corruption and all that. That's all in the background. And then you've got Koeman trying to build a new young Barcelona. Messi may or may not stay. It's all quite a bit of a shambles. And yet, they're just, 5 points off Atletico at the top?
Yeah, they could win the double, couldn't they? I mean, in theory, go bankrupt and win the double. That's pretty typical Barcelona, I would say. I mean, there'll always be a Barcelona in case any fans are worried. I mean, if they could go technically bust, but there'll always be a Barcelona. I mean, it's the directors have got themselves in a mess. They owe over €1 billion. And as was revealed a few weeks ago, Lionel Messi's contract alone is worth over $500 million. I mean, most of it has already been paid, but that's his salary and bonuses and whatnot, including taxes and image rights that Barcelona are actually paying. So they're in their desperation to hang on to Messi. They've actually virtually bankrupted themselves. But on the field, you saw quite a spirit. I watched the highlights of that game in midweek, and there was no question Barcelona are a team. Again, they wanted to win that. They were at it all the time, and they were absolutely ecstatic when they equalized with the last kick of normal time and took it into extra time. So there is a spirit there. Whether Messi will stay, as you mentioned, that's the big question, and that may not depend on where they finish in the league. That may be who's the president rather than whether they win the league or not. But they are dominating the news. I mean, a president in jail and all this drama. It's very Barcelona-esque. But there are three teams who can win the league. Real Madrid, of course, are in there as well. They're going along rather quietly, but it's all to play for.
Yep. All right. Here's the top 6 at the moment. Atletico, 5-point lead over Barcelona, who are level on points with Real Madrid. Sevilla in 4th. Then you got Sociedad and Betis. Barcelona are away at 12th place Osasuna this weekend. That one is a Sunday 4 a.m. kickoff. The standout tie of the weekend is the Madrid derby. It's Atletico against Real des Corquil, 1st versus 3rd. Shenanigans, red cards. I don't know. Are we going to see lots of goals? It's a must-watch, really.
It is a much watch, a bit like you like to see the wildebeest going through the rivers and the lions and the crocodiles pouncing on them, because it's going to be not very pretty, because Diego Simeone likes to go to war. And his team are struggling. They got a hugely important victory against, I think it was Villarreal recently, but they've just been struggling. They had a defeat against Levante in the cup. Have I got that right? I'm just trying to think. But they've gone off the boil a little bit, and nothing pleases me more than seeing anti-football teams get done in, even if it's Real Madrid and Barcelona, 2 state-sponsored teams. I mean, this is just fascinating watching. I'm delighted I'm not from Madrid. I'm delighted I'm not an Atletico fan, because invariably I'll have my heart broken. What's going to happen here is Atletico Madrid are going to lose it in the most agonizing circumstances on the very last day of the season. They'll score an own goal, Real Madrid will score a penalty, and Real Madrid will win the title on goal difference, or something bizarre like that. So watch, but watch behind eyes closed like that.
The Madrid derby is a Sunday 11:15 p.m. kickoff. On to Italy we go. In midweek, they had a round of games in Italy, round 25 in midweek. And Craig Marias, Juve beat Spezia 3-0. Cristiano Ronaldo marked his 600th league appearance. He also marked his 20th goal of the season. That makes him the first player to score at least 20 in the last 12 seasons in European top flights. That's some seriously goatish numbers.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. I mean, I think Messi will. That debate will always go on, But I mean, you look at Ronaldo and the energy that he still has, the way he goes about doing things. I mean, you wouldn't even say he's 37, 36, 37. You wouldn't even say he's that. Just looking at him, the way he's altered his game over the last few years is quite remarkable too. But we go back to Juventus and look at them, and it's interesting, because they've dominated Serie A for such a long time. They took that gamble last year, didn't they? Appointing a novice in Andrea Pirlo and no coaching experience whatsoever. I think 2 weeks before he was first team manager, he was like the under-18s manager or something. He was just appointed the under-18s manager, which is quite ridiculous when you think about it. So I think this period was always going to happen. I think the Juventus hierarchy kind of set themselves up for this, knowing that, okay, we probably won't dominate the Serie A this season, probably won't win it. But as long as we're up in there, we get into the Champions League, we're okay with that. We're comfortable. We've got a long-term plan. And I think Pirlo will probably be there for years to come, obviously providing that results go their way. But I mean, just looking at them now, they're third in the league. They're not too far off the likes of AC Milan. They also have a game in hand. Inter, I think, have been fantastic this season. I think that they've really, gone on confidence. Conte's doing a great job over there. But you just look at last night. I'm just going to, talk about Inter just for a split second. Last night, they ground out a victory against Parma, I think it was. But you got the likes of Sanchez coming to the team.
Sanchez with a brace.
Yeah, when Martinez is not playing, he comes in, gets a brace. He hasn't had a lot of football. You think about the Eriksen situation that they had to deal with. Brought him in, didn't feature a lot. He's now starting to play a little bit more. They've got a good competitive squad there at Inter Milan. So I actually called this 2 years ago. I thought they'd win it last year, but they didn't. They kind of faltered. They faltered out. But this year they're doing a really good job of it, and I'd be very surprised if they don't win it from here.
All right, well, here's your top six in Italy. As Craig mentioned, Inter did beat Parma 2-1. They are 6 points clear now of AC Milan, who were held to a 1-1 draw against Udinese in midweek. So this weekend, it's Juve against Lazio, 3rd versus 7th. Roma against Genoa. Verona against AC Milan. Napoli against Bologna. And Inter against Atalanta is the big one from Italy. On to Germany we go, where this midweek they had the DBF Pokal quarterfinal. Dortmund were 1-0 winners against Borussia Mönchengladbach, so they move into the semis. Jadon Sancho with the goal there. Some of the other results I know you're really keen to know. Rot-Weiss Essen 0, Holstein Kiel 3. Leipzig beat Wolfsburg 2-0. But yeah, it's all about Dortmund this weekend because they take on Bayern Munich, Bob Holmes. The two giants. It is 1st versus 4th. But these are the two big ones in Germany, aren't they?
Yes, 1st versus 4th and a 13-point gap in the table. So I don't think we can talk this up as a title decider.
5th. Yeah.
5th, yes. Yeah. 13 points away they are. Bayern have not been at their best this season, but they're just doing enough. But Dortmund have actually come back to form, and they won in midweek. Jadon Sancho scored. He's come back to form. He had a very slow start to the season. I don't know if it was disappointment that he didn't go to Man United. They tried very hard to get him, but didn't work in the end. But he's really come back. He's scored 8 goals and 7 assists, and he's looked the business again. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any interest in him during the coming window. But they're not going to win the league. There's too much of a gap. But they could trouble Bayern. I mean, they've beaten them in this game before, the Klassiker, as they call it.
Yep.
I think Dortmund suffer more when there are no fans, a bit like Liverpool. They do get a lift from their fans. But Bayern are all perennial favourites. It's at Bayern. But you wouldn't rule out a Dortmund win here, actually, because they are playing well. They're in good form. You have to wonder, they sell their best player every season to Bayern. Are they going to sell Erling Braut Haaland to Bayern? I think he might just be a little bit beyond Bayern's budget, actually. I think if he goes, he'll go outside of Germany.
Well,
But
if you
that's
read...
an interesting one.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you read the gossip press, like most of us just peruse sometimes, Erling Braut Haaland has said that there are a list of clubs he might move to. Liverpool, Man United, Man City are the 3 English clubs he's named as ones he might actually go to. But Craig, the 2 strikers are in under the spotlight here. The 2 number 9s, Lewandowski for Bayern, Braut Haaland for Dortmund. Gary Neville this week on Twitter tweeted, there was a question asked by some Man United fan site, which one player you would sign for Man United? And Gary Neville just went, Erling Braut Haaland. And I think he got like 32,000 likes or something on Twitter.
Yeah, for United, I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's no secret where they need to strengthen. I mean, as much as they need another centre-back, I think the striker, it has to be the top priority for Solskjaer this summer. When you look at the relationship that Solskjaer and Haaland have, the fact that they're both Norwegian, the fact that Solskjaer has already signed him once when he was in Norway, they have a good relationship, which was even more surprising. I actually thought it was a no-brainer for Haaland to join United at that time, but he chose Dortmund, obviously. But you would feel things like that kind of push Haaland in United's favour. Although it's never as straightforward as that, is it? I mean, let's be honest. He's not going to sit on the bench in any team that he goes to. He's going to automatically be the starting number 9. If he goes to Chelsea, I mean, Werner goes to the left, Abraham sits on the bench, Giroud will probably go off to another team. He makes that. He's not going to be rotated. I mean, it goes without saying, he's by far, in my opinion, the best, most complete striker, best number 9 in the world. For me, we talk about Lewandowski, fantastic striker, but I think Haaland has more to his game in terms of pace, power. I think Lewandowski is a good out-and-out goal scorer, but in terms of overall attributes, I think Haaland has more to it. And it's a no-brainer. United need to do. If United want to win the league, they need to move heaven and earth to get Haaland in. That's my opinion. I think centre back's a priority, but they need a striker more than they do a centre back for me.
All right. Who do you fancy, Des Corkill, for Der Klassiker this weekend? Bayern, Dortmund?
99 times out of 100, Bayern, simply because they have the better players. And if Dortmund do have the temerity to actually beat them, Bayern will go and buy their best player.
This is your Bundesliga top 6 at the moment. Bayern 2 points clear of Leipzig. Then there's a 5-point gap to third place Wolfsburg. Frankfurt going great guns at the moment. Just a defeat knocking their recent run of wins. Interestingly, Mönchengladbach's manager, Marco Rose, who said that he was going to join Dortmund next year as manager, Gladbach have lost the last 4. So it's funny how that works. This weekend, this is what's happening in Germany. Gladbach against Leverkusen, Hoffenheim against Wolfsburg, Freiburg against Leipzig, Frankfurt against Stuttgart, and it's Bayern against Dortmund, the big one, Sunday, 1:30. That, in a nutshell, is your whiz-bang look around Europe. I say thanks to Bob Holmes, to Craig Marias, and to Des Corkill. We'll wish you a great weekend. Stay safe, everybody. Bye now.